Happy Thursday night, guys.
I'm so happy to see Dr. Jones again. He had the audacity to have me on his show.
Yeah.
It was a good time. It was a good time.
It was a good time.
You're the first acupuncturist on my show. I was like, let's do it, dude.
Yeah, let's do it. Who do you normally have on? Dr. Greg Jones, by the way, before we get down the rabbit hole.
Exactly.
Welcome.
Who is
Welcome
this
to our show.
It's like, I'm a horrible guest. I'm a great host. I'm a horrible guest.
Welcome, Dr. Greg Jones of the front office in Phoenix, just to let you know.
Sitting a chair.
So, welcome. And who do you have on your show normally that's not an acupuncturist?
Yeah, dude. A lot of doctors, pharmacists. I like it to be very diverse, and not just the different types. So I've had nurse practitioners, DOs, MDs, pharmacists, a couple business people, some motivational people, a psychologist at one point. But everyone, we talked about this earlier. Everybody just wants to know about peptides these days. So I should just stop. It's like, here's the secret to life and happiness. Nah, bro. I need those peptides. I need those peptides.
Somebody sent me like an Instagram reel today of I don't know what movie it was. I meant to look it up, but I've been busy, of Leonardo DiCaprio on like a runway being like, and his guy behind him is like, just let this one go, leave. And it says, this is me asking for peptides. And then underneath it, he's like, well, I need a guarantee from you. And it shows this shady, ambiguously Asian guy. And it says Chinese peptides. And it's like, I have no guarantee for you.
No guarantees. No guarantees.
Oh, man, it was fucking hilarious.
Yeah, that's good. It's good.
So before we jump into peptides, because clearly that's where we're aiming, tell us a little bit about your background and your training and all that stuff. Let's go there first. Tell us who you are.
Let's know Greg Jones, the man.
Let's talk about Greg Jones.
Dude, sometimes I feel like the more I get asked this question, the older I get. I'm like, oh shit, dude. Like, how far?
I feel that. I feel that.
We want to go to the. You want to start
how far
the
back do we go?
80s or the 90s? So we'll start in the 90s. We'll do that.
Yeah.
So grew up in Chicago. I was born in Mississippi. I grew up in Chicago. I joined the Navy when I was 17, and it was very much okay, you have fumbled all of your opportunities to be a successful human. So either you go to the military or you get out of this house kind of thing, right? And I was like, all right, well, I guess I'm going to the military. And it's always so funny, man, when I think about the recruitment of me, because I did really well. I don't even know if they do this shit anymore. They were doing this ASVAB entrance exam, and I did really well on it, which is crazy because I literally was like guessing or not, like whatever, B, C, this looks right, and I did really well. And to be, and so now the recruiters start calling, and there's like, and I remember the Marine Corps guy called. He's like, he's damn near yelling at me like I was in boot camp already. He's like, you want to be part of the baddest. I was like, I'm 17. I'm like 16. I'm like, oh my God, no. And then,
dude, don't sign me up for that.
Yeah. And then the Navy guy was like, oh man, you did really well on this test. We have this nuclear engineering program. If you pass the entrance exam, this is how crazy it was, in 92. And looking back, he was like, we'll give you $3,000. And I'm like, $3,000? Where do I sign up? Right?
Yeah. Where do I sign?
Yeah. So I took the exam and passed and all that and joined the Navy like literally a month after I turned 17.
Wow.
So did a full career, man. They sent me to college. I became an officer. I retired. And then I retired and I realized, oh my God, this is the only thing I've done since a teenager. I don't know what to do with myself. Right. And so I took a job as in aerospace engineering here in Phoenix. And I was like, okay, well, I don't think I want to do this. This is cool, but maybe this isn't for me. And I almost accidentally found myself into naturopathic medical school. I was going to go to pharmacy school, literally diametrically opposed, right? And I was in the process of taking classes, and I was like really starting to talk to. And I always joke and say, if I knew a compound pharmacist at the time, I'd probably be a pharmacist now. Because the only pharmacists that I could connect with were like retail pharmacies. You know, those people that never really look too happy behind the counter.
Pill counters.
You know, and they're just like, like, I don't know, man, you might not want to do this. And I was like, this is not motivating. And
I got to say, my grandfather was a pharmacist, and he had like one of the last local, mom and pop pharmacies.
Yeah.
And when that closed, it was every time I walk into a CVS or a Walgreens or even like the grocery store pharmacy, it's just a sad.
No, it's
so
it's
sad.
It's not the connection, you know, like the
No.
mom and pop thing here. Right? So let's forward this clock to the modern times. And so then I graduate naturopathic medical school, and my initial or postgraduate training, or what I really got into, was orthopedic injections. I just wanted to like pop PRP and stem cell and prolotherapy.
Seems rational.
Why not? Seems great.
It's really fun. It's good. It's good. There's a cathartic experience is getting that needle in the right place, and people are getting better. And then COVID happened, right? And that really changed everything, because all those people that were leaving the house and twisting their ankle and spraining their MCL and things like that, they're not there anymore. And so I had to figure it out. And that's when I really started. I don't want to talk too much, but I'm going to keep it high level, man. So basically what I realized in the course of my injecting was that I had these two broad categories, big categories. And you had people who, they were healthy, you know, they ate well, they worked out, they were in a good health, and they would get well really quickly. Like one injection, most times they're in a good place. But then you have people who were struggling with the basics of health, whether it be weight, inflammation, things like that. And they struggled. Like, you can inject them with the fanciest regenerative fluids in the world, and sometimes it's a struggle, right? And I realized I'm doing this backwards, man. Like, and it hit me like, okay, let me back this up and really get into the longevity piece, the optimization piece, things like that. And that was the big gate that opened for me. And I just kind of ran with it, man. And I've been doing this basically every day for the last 6 years, man, you know, and it's been great.
It's fucking weird to me still that, like, I don't know about you too, but I suspect you as well. COVID feels like it was fucking yesterday.
Yeah.
And now you're like, that was 6 years ago.
6 years ago.
Well, you know, it was either yesterday or 2 lifetimes ago.
Yeah.
There's no, like, it's like, oh, did that happen before COVID? I don't remember that.
Man, I'll tell you, dude, I just remember driving to work because, you know, still seeing patients at the time.
Yeah.
And it was like, oh, these streets are so empty. It was like,
it was so great. It was so great commuting to the office. It was so great.
Is this what it's like to be the last man on earth? Like, I'm okay with this.
Everybody coming to your office is so happy they're in your office.
Oh,
they're like, I'm not home.
I'm outside. I'm so outside. Like, you know, you gotta go now.
Yeah.
Like, I don't know what else you got going on here, right? And no, man, and it's been a wonderful journey, and I'm really happy with what I do. And you know, there's always the days, like anything else in life, where you're like, oh gosh, this is what did I sign up for?
Sure.
Most of the days, man, I'm so happy that I'm getting to help people and make a difference, make an impact, and that's pretty cool.
You know what I think is cool about this show, but this show is a reflection of like where the world's at, is like, I think we're just moving so quickly to new things that if you're interested in this, there's literally never going to be a finish line of new shit you could explore, right? This is a now infinitely expansive category.
Oh, dude, it's amazing.
And it's like you get all hot and bothered on the peptide side, but like, you know, somebody else comes around and their thing is this other, like, we got frequency healers on here, we got all kinds of shit going on, and like you're like, damn it, man, we could talk about this wacky shit forever. And now it's not even wacky anymore. Now it's just fucking normal. You know,
extremely normal. Extremely normal, man. The conversations are there, and I'm literally learning new things every week. Like, I'm learning, like, just last week I was like, oh, I learned about this new lab test I want to start doing, and here's another. And then, okay, what if this lab test at the values are low or high, what do I do? So now I'm learning about what to do if someone has a certain type of inflammation, right? And it's a constant learning cycle, man. And that's what I love about it, man. It's like, you can go down, like, the rabbit holes are immense. But the thing is I'm learning to be a little, because you can get data overload, right? There's information overload, right? It's and this is such a profound thing, and it seems simple, but an MD taught me this on a podcast, and she's like, "What good is the data if you can't use it?"
Sure.
You know,
Whoop and Aura have this problem.
We talk about that with everybody. You'll give us all the damn data in the world. We'll have everything tracked, but are you going to change anything? How is it actionable?
Yeah.
You know, how does it help you?
It just stresses you out.
Yeah.
It's just like, are you okay? You bad night of sleep. Maybe you should, like, don't go to work today. I'm like, Aura, I got to go to work.
Yeah, like what are you gonna do?
Yeah,
Not
go?
Go? Yeah. I would love to just lay here.
Yeah.
That's even like Matt and I have been using like the Muse meditation headband, right? A crazy and I like the company a little bit too much. They get a new product, I'm immediately buying it, right? So now I can tell how much oxygen is in the left and right hemisphere of my brain, and I'm looking at the chart, going, okay, it looks good, but what would you do
if it wasn't?
Like, what would you do if like the left side wasn't getting any
Tom's
oxygen?
doing this show with a fucking thing in his
like
nose.
I'm having like a stroke, over here. What would I fix?
Right.
Fascinating. It's so funny. It made me think about this article, man. I like sometimes you get the shit pops up. Oh, I got to read this. It talked about how throughout the course of the day, you're only really breathing in through one nostril.
Yeah.
And I was like, what? I'm thinking I'm getting them both.
Yeah.
I don't know. And it's just during the day. And I was like, well, I wonder if you got to switch nostrils. The left side ain't getting it. You're gonna have to, all that stuff.
I mean, that was one of my least favorite parts of every yoga class, when you do this thing and you pinch the nose on either side, because like one side's already fucked up, and I'm like, God damn it, I'm gonna suffocate. Okay, now I'm good.
I know. Get back on the clock there, left nostril.
Yeah, right.
Thing,
so you know what? You actually gave us a great springboard off into sort of like the next layer on this, in my mind, when it comes to things like you're into peptides now, but before we kind of land there, like I think we can kind of explore any one of these like new rabbit holes, right? Ends up being like this risk reward treasure hunt. You're like, all right, is this going to kill me if it doesn't work? And what's going to happen? Am I going to live forever if it does work? Right?
We used to have this really weird scale that we tried to implement in our earlier shows, which was weird. 1 to 10, cost, efficacy, safety, and what was the overall number. And sometimes Matt and I were like dead on, right? Like, this makes sense. There's no risk, relatively cheap. Give it a try. Worst thing that happens is nothing. And then sometimes I remember sending Matt an article on something called the God Helmet.
Oh, yeah.
And Matt's like, have you seen the warning label? And I'm like, dude, you're 100% in on everything.
Yeah. But
and
like, here's the thing. If it goes
magnets
wrong,
on the brain messes you up now.
If it goes wrong, you could stroke out. You know what I mean? Like, it's no, it's not. You don't want to, like, no, I'm good.
There is the line that we just don't want to cross. There, right?
Yeah. Well, now I asked Claude how to make one, and Claude gave me step-by-step instructions, which is super scary,
terrifying.
Dude, there are lines I won't cross. There are lines. Line number one: the fecal transplant. Line number one. I will not cross that line.
Look, you're not going down that road, huh?
No.
I gave a lecture to Walter Reed, and I go, that comes from Chinese medicine. And they go, what? And I go, no, on PubMed, here's the article. It actually credits a Chinese physician. It was called the soiled undergarments, or the yellow soup treatment. And it was much grosser back then. You're shitting yourself to death. Matt's not. We take his underwear, we make a tea out of it, and you drink that. Crazy. I would much rather take a pill.
No, is that I mean, like the coffee enema, that's a line I'm not saying I ain't crossing.
Yeah.
It just is not my thing, man. And I saw there's this thing where it's there's the nasal balloon for like I
want to try that so bad. I have an MD that's done it, and he's like, it hurts like hell.
Oh, I bet.
That was the only thing he said.
That sounds logical to me.
I feel just like, let me just pop that. I'm just like,
I tried to make one. I couldn't get the finger cots to stay on the bulb tight enough.
Oh, man. Yeah. So
I'm fucking, I get weird. Like,
it's the thing. But on the same time, I will literally stick a needle anywhere in my body. Like, I've injected my knees, my ankle, my shoulder. I have no fear of that.
And what's really funny, I'm all into all these health things. You get a needle near me to take like a blood test, and I will fucking pass the fuck out.
Man,
I'm like, I am such like not a needle guy. This guy couldn't get a vein. We were at a networking event, Tom and I. Were you there for the IV trip?
Yeah. Was that where we were doing IVs?
Yeah, we were doing IVs, and this fucking dude could not get my vein at all. And after like the 6th try, I felt myself like going down. I'm like, all right, bro, you gotta
back off here.
Back
Oh,
up.
wow.
Like, I am not gonna be okay.
Oh,
Yeah.
dude.
He's like, are you sure it's already paid for? I'm like, this has nothing to do with money, my friend. Nothing whatsoever. Get the fuck away from me.
We have those lines, man. You know,
Yeah,
you gotta draw 'em. Sure.
So how do you kind of like weigh this out? I mean, obviously when you were getting into peptides, I mean, you know, we know a little bit more about peptides now, but I mean, talk to me about how much do we actually know? Because I'm not convinced that we actually really got our hands around this problem, but maybe I'm wrong.
Yeah, you know, and they've been used for much longer. You know, when you look at Europe and Russia, we're kind of like late to the party now in many ways, but now like it's become a phenomenon here in the States, and there's a lot of good reasons for that. You know, because they actually do help people.
Okay.
And they're extremely accessible, right? They're extremely, right? Because like, okay, if you want to get some testosterone, there's certain hoops
you got to have blood tests. You need a prescribing physician.
Yeah. You know, if you want something like a modafinil, I don't know if you guys are familiar with that. You know,
yeah.
It's like you gotta go through the proper channels, man. That's what it is. But if you want to get some BPC 157, I mean, you could and should go through a good channel, but at the same time, you can probably go on
you can Google that right now.
The nefarious website of your choosing, right? It's not Pepsi Cola, it's Pepsi Peptides. You know, you just gotta go with that. You have that, right? And I think that part of it is great because again, they are impacting people. And I've said this like, you know, on my own podcast and some other things where it's like, the issue is that people are frustrated and fed up with the traditional medical system.
Sure.
They're fed up, man. The doctors are fed up. Like I go to some of these peptide trainings and I'm like, it's half the people in there are like MDs and DLs. Like, yeah, I'm out. Like I've been doing plastic, you know, whether, you know, they could be, you know, OBGYN or gastro. And they're like, okay, I'm doing this now. Right.
Yeah.
Because the system is broken in many ways, right? And it doesn't help the person. How many people are like, well, how many times it's like I do it now and I want people to they have like extremely high cholesterol and they have all these risk factors and I want them to do like a clearly analysis or a FFR and it's like, yeah, insurance isn't going to cover it. I'm like, so we're just going to wait until this person
until they die.
Yeah, essentially.
You know, and so people want to get ahead of things and it's great that we want to be proactive. And we were talking about COVID earlier. I think that was a wake up call for a lot of people. Like, hey, I'm unhealthy. Like this is scary. I need to get healthy. And so that being said, I think it's a matter of when you look at peptides in the big picture, they're very safe. The peptide itself, right? Because again, it's only going to bind to that specific receptor that it's supposed to. The body does not recognize it as foreign. It's like, oh, I know you get in here. I'm not going to attack you because you're basically a copy of an amino acid sequence that I already make. And even when it's done, it comes off the receptor and you break it into individual amino acids, right? So it's not like this thing is going to metabolize into some toxic thing. Where people get in trouble, if you will, is that there are certain peptides that if you take too much of it, it can have side effects, right? Or it could be almost too much of a negative feedback loop. Some, not often, right? And then there's the thing where I think personally is not every source of peptides is a good source, right? Because the making of peptides, if you kind of no one ever looks into it, the actual making of a peptide is an extremely toxic process, right? You know, they're literally.
Somebody asked me the other day what a peptide is, and I kind of was like, you know, I've never thought to ask that question. I have no fucking idea. So this is a great time to ask you what is a peptide actually? What are we talking about?
They're sequences of amino acids that are bound together by peptide bonds, right?
Okay.
And essentially, you know, when they make them, it's like I said, it's a very kind of chemical process because you have to make these bonds and there are some certain chemicals that have to do it. So for instance, like when in the production of it, there's a chemical called TFA, tetrafluoroacetic acid. Hope I got that right. Yeah. But it sounded
Somebody
good.
will tell you if you
we'll agree with you.
Yeah.
It sounded great.
That's right.
So anyway, but that is supposed to be, you know, removed before that peptide gets to the States and before you get it into an injectable form.
Oh, I see.
So processes like that. And obviously you're worried about endotoxins, right? Because when they're producing this in a factory somewhere, why am I blurry? Sorry, dude.
You'll clear up on our end. Don't worry. It'll get it.
Yeah. Hold on, there we go. I'm back.
I'm back.
So I tried to set it where it wasn't doing an autofocus, but it's doing whatever the fuck it wants.
Yeah.
Bleep that out. And so that being said, it's like you want to make sure that not only the potency, the purity are there, but make sure there's no endotoxins, impurities, things like that, because that your body will attack. If it sees an endotoxin and things like that, your immune system is going to recognize that as foreign. If it's a TFA, that's toxic to the liver when you have to metabolize it, right? And that's why those things are important. Why you can't just meet somebody in the back of a Walmart with a trench coat and get bottles of peptides, right? So sourcing is like everything.
That's interesting. Yeah,
we've had that conversation about testosterone. Back in the day.
Oh yeah. The guy in the gym. I got you, bro.
Yeah, right. Yeah, exactly. Yeah. Said the guy you should all trust. The guy who says that to you. Oh,
dude, I was so naive when I started working out, dude. They were like, "Oh, I got the gear." And I'm like, "The gear? Oh, I got Nike. I got towel. I got gloves. I got gear. I got all the gear I want." They're like, "Oh, this guy. Never mind. You're a narc. Get out of here."
Yeah. Clearly, we're not selling to that loser.
No.
Yeah, that's funny. Yeah, no, we had a guy on who went to jail for it. It was funny. And he's, funny enough, one of the most knowledgeable people I've ever talked to about testosterone ever. And he's like, sure, I've got like 80,000 people I've
case studies.
Basically that I know
and now he owns one of the biggest virtual stores for testosterone, and
which is absolutely wild, but it just goes to show you though that he did the kind of like this similar track, and we're not done here in your story, but like he went the illegal route because that was all the options at the time, but he got really fucking good at it now as like a ninja at it, and he's fucking crushing it. And now people need it and people understand it more. And I think that's where
he's teaching MDs,
Yeah, no, dude. Obviously I can never tell these stories. If I tell you, like when I first started in peptides, dude, we're talking 6 years ago, man. And I was borderline outlaw, dude. Like I had things that I did that I'm like, you know what? I hope no one ever.
Thank God that's not recorded.
We were doing what we needed to do.
Good thing it's not going to appear on the internet.
I know, right? On YouTube. This episode will not be posted to public internet platform.
Yeah.
But at the time, it was like, look, man, like I'm one of those people, like I want to help people. Like I'll go to the mattress for this. Like we're doing the right thing by the person, but like we had to really. There were some corners that you just didn't know what you didn't know. And I was like, okay, we're going to help people, man. And so now we try to do things the right way. We are doing things the right way. And we're just making sure that we're keeping people safe and protecting the patients and protecting the practice. But at the time, it was just like, look, we got these peptides. How do we get them to you? What's the best way? How do we get them prescribed?
You like Walmart or Target better? I'll meet you there.
No, I'll meet you.
Yeah.
It's like just roll your window down as I drive by.
We'll throw it at you.
Bag goes in there and things like that.
So when you hear the hubbub online about like Chinese peptides versus American-made peptides, are we talking about those sort of impurities that are left in there, the FSA and
it's interesting because when the peptide market first started, there were no American
brands.
Yeah. It was like all these peptides are getting synthesized in China, and then they're getting to the States, and then that place in the States is actually getting them ready for human use, right?
Oh, I see what you're saying.
Right.
Okay.
And there are some, obviously now there are some places that are popping up and they're doing the actual synthesizing here, and they're American-made peptides and all that stuff. But the thing is most of the pharmacies, I'm not saying most, but most of them, because there's a difference, and this is where it'd be good if you guys have a pharmacist on here to kind of think just as a future thing, but there's a difference between pharmaceutical grade, research grade, food grade, things, industrial grade, all these things, right? So pharmaceutical grade basically goes through your compound pharmacy. They take that raw powder and do the buffering and the compounding to get that concentration, send it for testing. Okay, now I can prescribe it to a patient with an individual prescription, right?
Mm-hmm.
Okay.
That is your, gold standard. This is no gray. This is the white and black. This is how you do it. Then there obviously are the research grade peptides, where most of the country is living at, right?
I may or may not be looking at several bottles of research peptides
You
in
know,
front of
hey,
me right
dude,
now.
I can't judge. I will never judge anyone, right? So,
yeah. I'm not going
you
to
know,
judge,
Why?
but
They wouldn't give me a script.
this is
That's
wild.
why,
This
you
is
know?
wild. That's
Yeah.
But anyway, so, and you have the research companies here, and there's a difference because obviously they're saying these are for research grade, not for
sure,
use, all these things here.
Don't
And
forget, not for veterinary use. We can't
not
forget that.
not for that either. Not for you or your cat.
Yeah.
And so,
Which,
but-
by the way, if you're grouping me and my dog in the same sentence, whatever you're talking about, I'm probably not interested in.
yeah, it's one of those things.
Well, but that's what people do with the raw milk.
Yeah.
You know, for animal use only.
Oh, right.
Now,
Like,
now the thing is this, and I had a wonderful attorney on my podcast. We were talking about how you can look at the sourcing, right? Because just because you have a compound pharmacy doesn't mean you're making a great product.
Sure.
yeah.
And just because you're a research company doesn't mean you got Jed in the back stomping his feet on the raw powder and putting it in
Sure.
a bottle and giving it to you, right? Because
Yeah.
there could be some research companies that are making the same or better quality as the pharmacies, right?
We'll ask you for those brands offline.
Yeah, so it's like they're super high quality, and it's just like, oh,
Yeah.
you know, and they'll show you all this, and they're doing actual research and things like that. And the onus is on, you know, because it's very much a don't ask, don't tell. It's like if you go buy a research peptide, they're not going to ask you, what's your research study, what's your
Sure.
hypothesis, and is this RCT
Yeah, they
or
don't
double
care.
blind? They don't,
That's exactly what they used to do when LSD was first came out.
yeah.
They're like, "Are you doing research? Great. How many tabs you want?" And they
Yeah.
just send it to you. That's how Timothy Leary got started. People were just
Yeah.
sending him LSD.
Yeah. And it's very much that, because we ain't got time to be reading this shit. Like, here, I trust it. You click the button that says, I'm going to do research, Scout's honor, right?
Sure.
But the thing for the issue as a physician, though, is like, this is where it gets tough because of the medical license and all that. Like, I can't give you
You can't cut corners. Yeah.
if it has research not for human use on there, I cannot, because it
Yeah,
could
you
be,
yeah, it could be
and
anything.
they could have made that from the pheromones and the amino acids of the one unicorn in Thailand.
Sure.
And if you take that and you have some type of reaction and you're like, okay, well, I got that shit from Dr. Jones. You know what? My left eye is not opening.
Yeah.
I'm turning you in,
yeah.
dude. And you go to your board and it's like, and they pull the string and it's like, oh, I got this. It says not for human use. It's like, all right, you know what? Either you're
Yeah. What
you're
the fuck
stupid
were
or,
you doing?
yeah, you know, either you're stupid or
You
you're
want to get your
ignorant.
license, or should we?
Yeah.
It's like,
Yeah.
and neither one of those are
Yeah. For sure.
what we
Yeah.
want to see from you. So there's a difference, right? And so my thing is that I love educating on peptides. I love, you know, teaching about them and how they work and what they do and how they can benefit people. But I think one of the things that's happened in many ways, and good thing is talking to you guys about it. And Tom, you know, you're, you know, and I felt bad because I was like, oh, you're more than an acupuncturist, sir. I'm so sad
Oh,
I
no,
said
no.
that.
No. Come on. We're fucking
Much
with
more
him. I
than
fuck with him all the time.
It's like calling
Please,
me,
like,
it's like, I was
we,
like, oh, you hippie. You
we did
hippie
this
doctor.
movie premiere, and I was the only one without the M and the D after my name in that fucking.
Nope.
Like,
I didn't either.
Oh, Matt didn't either, and I think I referred to myself as a lowly acupuncturist 3 times in that room. I'm like, you guys have the MD, and then there's all these board certifications. Your fucking signature's 1.5 miles long.
Yeah.
Dude, I know. So, I didn't want to, because it's like something like, it's so funny because I'll be, and people like, oh, I tell them a naturopathic doctor, and they'll be like, oh, you're a homeopathic. I was like, dude, that's like one.
Oh, they don't know what the difference is.
One little branch of what I do, or a holistic doctor. I'm like, I guess you can call me that. It's like, I'm like, call me what you want.
Yeah, just call me whatever you want. I'm not gonna
it's
fight
like,
this fight here. Yeah,
doesn't offend me anymore, right? And I think
until they need something, and then they're like, "Oh, I really need to talk to you," and you're like, "Oh, I'm just a
here with all my juices and berries, man." But yeah, so I think where we don't want to get short-sighted is because yes, peptides are great, but like I'm very much understanding that it's one tool in the box of optimizing someone's health, right? Health, because obviously before I give you a peptide, I need to make sure like you're not out here living in a toxic soup of your own creation, right?
Sure.
So like, are you exercising? Are you not eating shitty foods? Are you managing your stress? Do you sleep? How much alcohol are you drinking? Are you drinking soda? You want that whole thing. You want a foundation, right? Because it's like I had a training with my staff today. We are talking about inflammation. And I was like, there's all these great things for inflammation. There's all these supplements, right? And there's turmeric and PEA and omega-3 and vitamin D. And then there's low dose naltrexone, and we got all these peptides. But if someone is literally, and we were going over like these 8 major causes of it, right? So if someone's not sleeping, or they're stressed, or they're eating, all these, toxic foods and things like that, processed foods, ultra processed foods, they have all these things working against them. You're only going to get so far, right?
Right.
And even if you get their inflammation down, it's going to come right back because you never remove the attack. It's like spitting on a fire.
Sure.
And that's the key where I think we're missing in the peptide gold rush is like, I hope people don't think you can just pop this needle in and all your problems are going to go away.
That's
like
exactly what they think.
But that's exactly what they think, right?
Exactly what they think.
I mean, even look at antibiotic overprescription, right? Why did it happen? Because you went into your doctor, you had a virus, the doc goes, yeah, go home and rest. And then the patient gets pissed off and goes, no, you got to give me something. Right, and that's why we have this overprescription issue, and resistant bacteria now. But it's Americans specifically, and I'm sure it's worldwide, they want the quick and easy.
Yeah.
Well, the other side of this that I'm curious about, that kind of is the other side of that coin, is I've been in the cannabis accessory business for 25 years or something like that, right? And when CBD hit the airwaves, CBD was going to cure every fucking thing ever made.
The great panacea.
It was like,
they're all
this is going to be
this
is going to cure everything from toe fungus to cancer. Like, I mean, you couldn't pick a disease that this wouldn't help. And that's not really happening like that anymore. Everyone still throws CBD at everything, but I feel like where CBD started to kind of take the backslide, peptides were coming up. And now we have hormone replacements coming up as well. So it's like, basically you got all these things, but again, I don't know if it's the TikTok in everybody or what, but everyone's like, oh no, whatever's going to do the quickest, fastest, shortest thing possible. Right. Let me do it. And it'll cure everything. Right. By the way, peptides will also take care of your toe fungus to your cancer. I mean, it's like crazy.
Yeah. So like, and that's why I see everything on social media. You got all the influencers talking about, and it's like, great, educate. Like, I'm not going to sit here and be the old man in the long black socks yelling at the sky like, you're not a doctor. Stop talking about peptides. Get off my lawn.
I know you want to. You kind of want to.
I will. I will. I'm like, who the fuck is this idiot?
Like, it's like, all right, you know what? I don't want to get into a back and forth with you because I'm not going to fight you because, you're an influencer. You have way more influence. Exactly. It's just like I will like, and I gotta shut my page down because there's so much negative energy, right? So I don't want to be right. But it's a matter of educating the people that want to be educated and the people that are asking the right questions and things like that. And it's like, look, go off, learn about it, do your videos. It's easy because like it's different as a practitioner, because for me, it's like I have to look at so much of everything, right? Like I can't just say, here, take this. I got to look at your gut health and your inflammation markers and your hormones. And I got to look at, wait, do you have some underlying infection that's just sitting there? Are you sitting there with Epstein-Barr or Lyme, or you have a reactivated HSV or, there's so much to it. It can never.
Oh God. And how many people have all of that? Right. How many people it's like, oh, you picked up black mold. Yeah, that makes sense.
Yeah.
Like, yeah. Why? Because you have everything else.
No. and you have to look at the full picture. And it's just, I try not to be like that person, but I'm like, dude, like there's so much more to what we do and what we can do to help people than just doing peptides. And it's like, that's why even on social media, I do a good amount of educating or videos on peptides, but it's like, I don't ever just want to do that because I don't ever want to get pigeonholed and now you're a peptide guy. And it's like, no, I do way more to help people. This is just one of the tools we use. And I think that's key, but peptides are sexy right now. I was like, oh, dude, like, look at the weight loss. Look at this. Look at the hair, and, man, like you said, Matt, the things go in waves.
No, totally. Yeah, no, I think it's fun to watch because if you're paying attention, you kind of it's easy to see what people are really after, right? Like, so peptides, again, like I was just talking about the CBD, HRT peptide kind of swell. This just really confirms the speed requirement. So now the question, like, you can use that if you want to be in education and you're paying attention to these things. You're like, okay, great. I knew that people had short attention spans, but now I really need to solve morning chair stretching in like 8 seconds, right? Like, let me figure out how to do that, because this is the only thing that people are going to look at for this.
Yeah.
I got this many seconds. And like, that's not necessarily how, when I know something really well and I want to explain it to somebody, I'm not thinking in these kind of ways. But when you look at the global sort of trends, you're like, all right, we can work with this. Let's figure this out. And I think that's the part that's been fun to watch for me personally, because I'm not a practitioner.
Yeah.
But this show kind of gives us a way to like talk to people who are, and it's interesting because they're all coming at it from different angles, and it's we're all the same people, right?
That's kind of it, man. And people, at the end of the day, people just want to, people want to get better. They want to feel better. And obviously, especially if they've been dealing with something for a really long period of time. And dude, I get some of the most amazing calls from people. And it's like, I have this really serious thing. Does Dr. Jones think peptides can help with this? And I'm like, maybe. Because it's like, at this point, you've done so many different things, and I cannot make that kind of guarantee. Can it potentially help you? Yes, but let's look at the entire picture, right?
Yeah.
And I think that's it's so key to do that. And to just be like, dude, I saw this one thing on, of course it was on Instagram, right? Everything's on there. And it was just kind of like, Botox is, what did it say, dude? It was like, Botox is a thing of the past. Or
of course,
leave the Botox, drop this camera, dude. Sorry.
Don't worry.
It's okay. It's like, drop the, like Botox is old, it's outdated, blah, blah, blah. We got this peptide stack and this GHK copper and all that. And I was like, I was gonna be like, okay.
Wait, was it a cream, or was it like, were they doing like micro injections or something?
Injection, just regular GHK injections. It was like a stack. It was GHK, BPC. It was a good, solid stack.
Solid stuff, yeah.
Solid, right? But to sit and tell someone like, oh, you are never going to need Botox against you're doing these peptides is very misleading, right? Because these peptides are great, but they ain't freezing your forehead, bro. Like,
it's not tightening anything up like that. Yeah.
This is here, right? That is a whole different thing. And to say that and people get excited, oh, I'm gonna do this, and it leads to disappointment, right? And it leads to people getting frustrated. And then when you come in as a physician, like, oh, well, I tried this and it didn't work. And it's like, well, your expectations were different, right? And so I think that's the thing. It's just like, okay, if you have you probably see it in time, if someone comes in, it's like, my knee hurts, can you help me? Some Chinese medicine, do ABCD.
Yeah.
And they bring the MRI. Here's my MRI. Hey, this is a fully torn ACL. It's like, dude, there's not even.
I've literally said, what do you expect me to do? Pin this back?
Yeah.
Like, I'm like, look, this is like, go get this taken care of, come back for the recovery. I can speed that part up, right? Like, but like, I think what you're saying is like, people have certain expectations based on something they've seen, right? On social media, and whether or not that person's just trying to sell a product or get more likes or monetize themselves. Yeah. It's never the whole story, right? A 30-second reel is never a full story. And what I love about naturopathic medicine, and honestly, the reason I didn't become an ND was because at the time there was like 4 schools, and there was no state that had licensure on the East Coast.
Oh, wow.
and it's changed quite a bit, but I like the fact that even now we're seeing so many Western allopathic physicians going, oh, you got to look at the whole picture. And we're like, we've been saying that for 3,000 years. Thank you. like, what do you, what they eat makes a difference. Oh, no shit.
Yeah, it's now you want to do it.
Yeah. Now you want to talk about it. Yeah.
I know. It's amazing, dude. But yeah, it's always great to, and I always say that one of the best things about peptides is everyone knows about them. It's also one of the worst things about it is everybody knows about them, and everyone's a peptide expert. Everybody, and even it's funny, man. Like I'll do a video and put it on. Like I started putting shit on TikTok, and I was like, I got to get out of here, dude. Like this is I'm not for this room, right? And I just put the video out there and step back because I would do a video 30 seconds on a peptide, and it's like the comments were just like, I get it from here. I dose it like this. I do this. I do this. And I'm just like, all right, I can't even wade into this fray. Like,
Yeah.
it's
You
like,
can't-
I just
you-
had to sit.
I've
can't
heard
do that.
10 red flags right there.
Yeah, and I can't. And that's the thing as a physician, because like I have to be so careful with that, or I feel like I should be, because if I do a video on CJC 1295 and ipamorelin, and someone's like, oh, this is amazing, how do you dose it? And if I say, I'm gonna falsely give you a dose right here. This is a lie, America and the world. This is a lie.
This is not real.
A lie. Yeah, do 25 units 4 times a day on an empty stomach. Matter of fact, no. Eat a French fry when you take it. It'll help you, absorb it better.
Yeah.
If someone says, "Oh man, Dr. Jones said take 25 units 4 times a day and eat potatoes with it," and you get a growth on the side of your neck, I'm liable.
Sure.
As a physician, I just gave you medical advice. If I tell you to do something in this official capacity, because it's on my site, we're not just hanging out in the bar. I just gave you medical advice.
Yeah.
And I can't do that. Like, I wouldn't even take that risk, So
But
I have to keep my mouth shut.
How weird is it? I mean, I don't get the sense that a lot of people came to you for like weight loss. Like, I know this is like the big thing that got everybody peptides really on the map recently, is obviously the weight loss.
The GLP ones.
The GLP ones. Yeah. Like when it comes to that side, I know a ton of people on it, and I'm with you. This isn't a judgment thing, but it is sort of like a bit of a judgment, I guess, because I'm like, I'm down for trying stuff out, but when it becomes the only thing you're interested in doing to make a change, then I'm kind of like, well, what are we really talking about here? Like,
well, yeah, and that's where I think we see the slide back, right? Oh, I'm going to stop taking them. I hit my ideal weight. Well, I put all the weight back on. You didn't change.
You didn't change anything.
Anything.
Yeah.
What did you think? Now you want more Big Macs. That's the only thing that is the desire to eat them. Is just came right back.
So are you seeing that? Where I was going with the question was, do you see sort of any of that stuff in the, I guess, non-GLP world? Because we only really hear about GLPs, right? Like this, like the thing that everybody, health and wellness, yeah, sure, everything else. But do you see sort of a flip-flop like this ever with anything else?
Yeah, well, I'll kind of start from the beginning. Like, I would say, because I don't run a weight loss clinic. I don't really get people coming in like, "Ooh, I only want
you're
this."
You're skewing away from that. Yeah.
Well, that's why I said I don't get the impression that's your bag.
Rarely get that. I think maybe out of the entire clinic, 3 people, 5. I mean, we're talking out of 1,000, maybe 3 to 5 people.
Right.
That's what they came for, because we frame what we do here as treating the whole person. Like, this could be an option, and I never lead with that, right? It's like, okay, here's what we need to optimize. This is where, if we're going to talk about a GLP-1, this is why.
Got it.
But I always say, like, look, we give them a success sheet. It's like, look, while you're on this, here are things you need to do when it comes to eating smaller portions, cutting this from your diet, working out, maintaining muscle, eating more protein, doing these things, because eventually you're not going to lose weight until you are a head on top of a skeleton, right? Eventually you're going to stop losing weight. There is there's not infinity weight loss here. Like,
sure,
your body's like, okay, that's enough, right? You don't have an ass anymore.
Sure. You've completely disappeared. We need to stop you.
And you're exactly right. If you don't make those changes, whether it be your diet, your exercise, your habits, your thought process, you're going to gain a significant amount of that weight back.
Yeah.
The people who succeed are the ones who really make the changes. So the thing is, if you stop taking them, I always tell people, like, you stop, just expect 5 to 10 to come back.
Yeah, like right away. Yeah.
Not eventually. Like, you're going to get some of it back because you don't have that signal anymore, right?
Sure.
And that's part of it. But at the same time, it's like, you're right. If people use it as a crutch, then that's when they struggle. That's when they end up, either gaining the weight back really fast, or gaining more than they had originally, because they just kind of went off the deep end. So there's an education to it on, while you're on it, this is your chance to really make those changes. And I'm really thankful for the people that do. And it gets, it's like discouraging when people don't. So that's a big part of it. But
that's even with the stomach stapling, lap band surgery. It comes back if you don't change your outlook, if you don't change your dietary choices, people put that weight back on. And that is they fucking stapled part of your stomach shut.
Yeah.
That's crazy to me.
But like, what about like I don't know, some of the anxiety ones or some of the other, you know what I mean? Like, you know, do you see people having this sort of like regression in non-weight loss thing? Weight loss makes sense to me. Every diet that's ever been invented leads to weight gain at some point. Like, I haven't seen anything, right?
Yeah.
So like, I mean, that's easy, but like, you know, like any of the mind ones, maybe the sexual health ones, any of the not losing weight peptides, let's put it that way.
You know, I have seen some really cool long-term response to some of the peptides that help with stress and anxiety. Like C-Lank is a big one.
Yeah, C-Lank is one,
yeah,
NPY is another one, right? Like, so like those ones, do you see people kind of curing and stopping?
Man, it's been so cool. I've had some patients on C-Lank and they were in these stress anxiety things and they were started on it. They were doing it like 3 times a week. And you know, and then like they're doing it for a couple months and eventually it's like, oh yeah, like I took a break from it and I still feel better. Because when you think about the process of that, obviously while they're doing it, I'm like, okay, you need to figure out where the source of your stress and anxiety are and begin to work on that. But on the flip side of it, what it's doing is improving this neurotransmitter balance, right? And it's helping the brain function better if you're also giving the body and the brain what it needs, right?
Right. So
you see people not having and they don't have to be dependent on it, right?
Sure.
So I've seen that, and that's really cool. Or someone who was on, you know, a bunch of, you know, medications for the anxiety, depression, and now they've cut back on the medications or been able to eliminate them completely just from getting their testosterone and their hormones and their thyroid corrected. I can't think about how many people, I'm sure it's out there on the interweb somewhere, how many people were given antidepressants or, you know, mental health medications and, you know, Xanax and all these different things. And it's like, you didn't need a drug, you needed thyroid.
Yeah.
You know, and it's
you
like,
weren't depressed. Your hormones are out of whack. Yeah.
You weren't depressed. Like you had severe leaky gut.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? And so that's the problem. It's like, well, you obviously don't want to, and I get it. Someone walks in, I'm not feeling well. I'm in the dumps. I feel like shit. You want to get to the root cause, but I always think about it when it comes to someone in pain. It's like, well, do I say, all right, man, we're going to fix your gut. We're going to fix this. We're going to do all this. Give me 3 months. And you might turn.
You're ready. You're ready to put a gun in your mouth today, but let's do it. Let's slow play this. Yeah.
So, what about like the more, I don't want to say cosmetic, but like GHK or like hair ones, right? Like the topical tripeptide or whatever, you know, like stuff like that. Like when you stop using that stuff, I obviously am not super concerned with hair issues. I have enough, but my question is like people who are down that rabbit hole, like when you stop doing it, you grow your mane back. It's all nice and lush. When you stop, does it go away?
Not overnight.
Yeah, but it's same like weight. It'll slowly.
But it's like stopping minoxidil, right?
Same.
Well, look at Tom. Look at Tom, dude. He stopped. Look what happened.
Yeah, look what happened.
You know, like I believe it's all stress related, and it's all stress related. And if I remove the stressors,
it's back.
It's probably multiple homicide. So I'll stick with the bald head.
Yeah, no. But you got to think with hair, man. You know, it grows, right? It's follicle, and like it's just like any type of. That's the thing. I always, even with like hair regenerative injections, PRP, and all that. I'm like, you know, it's going to help. But if we don't fix whether it be a nutrient deficiency, stress, inflammation, that hair is going to grow and it's going to get to that light end of that anagen phase. It's going to hit that kind of, you know, catagen phase where it starts to stop, you know, it's gone, right? Because you got to fix the underlying thing. And that is the theme of all these things. It's like peptides are magical, but they're not magic. You still have to fix the underlying thing. Right? And so, man, look, I love GHK copper and I love some of the other like aesthetic peptides that are great for that. And even there's some studies showing BPC 157 and thymosin beta 4 can also help with hair regeneration.
Oh,
Right? Because they're
interesting.
reducing inflammation around the hair follicle.
I was just gonna say, and you get a anti-inflammatory for the rise.
Should we do an experiment? I'll inject myself and let my hair grow.
Yeah. It's like,
yeah. We'll see. I'm okay with that. I can't. This is kind of one of those ones where it's like, all right, let's. I might be.
I'm not going to be upset if it doesn't work. I also don't know what I look like with hair. It's been 20 years
of we doing this, and we see on other podcasts, and you got the whole kid play thing going on.
You got
the full,
like a full high flat top.
Yeah, totally.
It's like,
although we did have a guest on who said he started going to Costco and buying wild caught salmon and organic yams, and he said, my hair, I'm like a fucking werewolf now. He's like, I got it, like, and I'm like laughing because I'm like, yeah, that sounds like you should be like glowing, radiating hair.
And you got all the essentials.
Yeah.
Omega-3s are on there's like the list of like, I have like top 10 nutrients that if you're deficient can affect hair loss, and EPA DHA is up there, dude.
Up there. Yeah.
It's up there. It's up there. So.
Yeah. I
supplement that. My hair never grew back. This is
definitely
what happens when you marry a redhead and then you
can't
produce
more
redheads.
Omega-3s are the one thing that it's one rabbit hole that weirdly I have not ever gone down. I went down for a little while. Then there was that whole like 98% of the fish oil was rancid. And I was like, you know what? I'm going to take a pause on the fish oil. Yep. And then I never went back and I never kept looking. It's like one rabbit hole.
Man.
See, and I had a doc tell me I would stroke out if I didn't start taking fish oil.
Oh, really?
And that was enough for me. Yeah. Yeah, Lynn Dudley. Yeah.
Well, I think I probably would have listened if somebody put it in those terms.
Well, we were doing this weird test, and I don't even know if it's still available, but it was like pretty much red light, green light, yellow light. And the areas I was red, she's like, this tells you how you're going to die. Oh. And I went, all right, I'm listening.
I'm listening. You've got my
And I'm
attention.
like, is it a heart attack? Is it a heart attack? I think it's going to be a heart attack. She goes, no, you're going to have a fucking stroke. I went, yeah, that sounds right.
Yeah.
Like I didn't even argue.
Yeah. Looking at all the evidence here, I think that's what we're going with this.
Yeah.
Knowing me.
But you brought up an interesting point earlier. You said like, somebody, or Tom said, or bouncing off you, whatever, but it was like, I got a gun in my mouth today. I need a problem solved today. And what I do like about peptides is it is that sort of instant deflation. You're like, all right, we can have a solution for you by dinner. Then we can work on the bigger shit. Like, but like today we can kind of wrap this.
Yeah. Well, I think that's always a balancing act. You got to read the patient too, right? Like this one needs something right now. This one has time. Yeah.
No, it's huge for that. And then also I'm big on managing expectations too, because if you're trying to do a peptide here, and I'll just like say an IGF-1 LR3 or a mechanical growth factor, MGF, or even the tesmorelins and all these really cool peptides for improving.
Trying to get swole there, Doc?
Yeah. like it takes time. It's like that first 3 or 4 weeks, you might be like, this ain't doing anything, right? I'm like, no, you need to give it more time, right? Because
you mean your biceps not the size of my calf or my quad day 3?
Yeah. It's like, these peptides are not working. And I'm like, all right, you know what? Like if you're that impatient, I don't want to tell you. Right?
I don't know what to tell you.
Well, but even steroids wouldn't work in that case. They're not gonna. I want 20 more pounds of muscle tomorrow. That's insanity.
No, it takes time, dude. Like if you think about, there's this time, and also there's a certain genetic component too. Like I can probably take every steroid in the world. I'm not gonna look like a bodybuilder, dude. Like it ain't my genetics, right? But I also want to protect my kidneys and my heart and all that. There's no need for me to do that, right?
Sure. Yeah.
So
like,
it's really,
I got no need for any of that. Yeah.
No, it's not. No one's. Yeah.
Well, it's funny. I'm almost 50 and I know a lot of guys my age, plus or minus, and the amount of guys putting weird shit in their body now because they're like, look, the gym isn't working as well as it used to, or I got to go more than I want to, or whatever. I get it. But like, I don't know, man. Like it feels like these guys they don't have a health podcast. They're not asking questions like to everybody that'll listen and answer. They're just saying, they get some Facebook ad and that's it.
Dude, it's it's hard because I get it because getting old sucks and
Sure,
you're
I
not
feel
able to
you.
do the things that you want to do and you start noticing, it's like in the day to day you don't notice it when you like start looking at pictures of yourself from like 10 years ago, like, oh my God, I am old as shit right now, right? And you
Yeah,
start
yeah,
Right.
yeah,
getting
yeah.
that or like and like you go to like the gym and it's just like who let these 12-year-old kids in
Yeah,
here?
yeah,
It's
yeah.
like
Yeah,
they're
yeah.
they're 25 and it's like what? Like wow, like people start looking younger and younger
Yeah.
as we get older, and you're just like, dude, did I look like that when I was 21? Because you look a baby,
Yeah.
right?
You look like
Yeah.
I'm
a
like,
fucking infant. Yeah.
yeah, and I'm like, oh my God, and I thought I knew everything at 21, and I
Sure.
realized I know shit, and but I do think an unpopular take here is that I think there is some grace and beauty in getting older,
Mm-hmm.
Oh,
right?
Mm-hmm.
I
100%.
think there is. I think the wisdom that comes with it, and guess what? Like I am not going to force myself to try to look like I did when I was 20, 25, 30 and start doing things. That's just personal to me. Like I'm okay with that. I'm okay with having a couple little wrinkles here and there. Not too aggressive, right? I got my
Yeah, yeah.
peptides.
We're not going
But
crazy, people. I just
easy, easy. We ain't going all natural in this
Yeah, yeah,
camp.
yeah, yeah.
We're gonna do what we got to do
You know what I do
to
for a
do
living,
that.
right? I'm not on natural. Let me just be the first to tell
Yeah,
you.
yeah. Like man, we are going to do some peptides and things, right?
Yeah,
And
yeah.
whatever it takes. And we're gonna be on HRT and TRT to make sure we're healthy. But I also think that I don't have that fear of getting older, right? Because it's going to happen and it's part of the cycle of life, right? And it's just like I know it's not popular and I know that there's a probably some plastic surgeons going to be listening to this and like
Yeah.
boo this man, you must look young forever, right?
I can't get a boat if that becomes the popular belief.
No, like no, but and so I just
wouldn't
feel
say
this
I'm
balance.
afraid of getting older, but I will tell you, I'm like belligerent about getting older as a default because we have so many options now to make that different.
I think
right?
it's feeling like shit as we get older
it's really
that
just
we're
feeling
trying
like
to
shit.
avoid, right?
Yeah.
Like I don't mind if I don't need to go, try and max out at the gym every 3 weeks. But I want to still be able to go to the gym.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Like,
Yeah. I just don't want to be in pain, dude. Because I had all these
Yeah.
old injuries from sports, and I'm like, oh God, I hope this doesn't come back.
Yeah.
You
Yeah.
know,
Oh,
things
yeah,
like
well.
that. So pain is the biggest thing. Pain and my mental capacity. Those are my kind of fears
And
of it.
It's funny that you had those too, because every morning, 7 days a week, I do brain entrainment, PEMF mat, and stretching. And I do them all at the same time. I got a whole routine, right? When I was 25, when I was 35, hell, even when I was 45, I didn't do any of those things. Because I didn't care. Now, if I don't for one day, because I had to do something or whatever, and I can't, I fucking have a full-blown panic attack because I'm like, dude, I want to do that. Like I am missing that right now.
Yeah.
I know.
But
it's funny.
I feel great. I walk around like I'm like I stretched 25 minutes this morning. I'm like, I feel fine.
That's good.
The head of a kung fu school that I used to go to, somebody said, what's the most important thing to train? He goes, if you only got 15 minutes, do the warm-ups. It's all stretching. Yeah. It's all just loosen up, limber up, move your body.
Oh yeah,
that was it.
That's it, dude. Because there are times, man, like I'll be, man, I'll be 52 this year, and there'll be times, man, when it's like you wake up and it's like I don't know why my neck, I can't turn my neck. I don't know what. Like you're just like I didn't do anything, right?
Yeah,
like,
I did nothing.
I did nothing, right? And so stretching and that mobility becomes so important as we get older because we just don't. Shit dries up, man. Like your tendons ain't getting as much circulation as they used to. It's just like you got to keep that motion going, man. You have to. So I commend you for doing that.
I did one of those like Facebook ads of some, very attractive foreign girl doing all mobility exercises. And I love, first of all, her accent's amazing. But second of all, I'm doing these things and I'm writing it down, Tom, don't worry for the show. But I'm doing these things and there are all these weird fucking movements, right? Like, like you're in a squat, then you touch one knee to the ground and then the other knee. And you're like, I haven't felt my hip complex like that in a decade. Like you know what I mean? And now all of a sudden I'm like, I see where she's going with this. This is, and now all of a sudden I'm like really fucking into doing these like wacky movements because my body just hasn't moved like that.
I know. I did some there was a PT next door to our office, and I was going over there, and she had me doing all these stretching and mobility things. It was so humbling. Oh my God, it was so humbling. I'm sitting there, it's like a 5-pound weight. I'm like, I can't do it.
Yeah. Oh yeah. Yeah. That same woman, she's on the ground. She's like cranking like 20-pound dumbbells on her stomach, doing reverse flies on the ground. And I get 5-pound weights. I'm like, my shoulders are going to dislocate if I continue doing this. Like I cannot.
Man, you can't beat Father Time, bro. We'll fight. We're going to fight to the last breath, man. But Father Time is definitely something to always be going after, right?
Oh, yeah, for sure.
And that's where I will close that piece out. Is like, yes, there's grace in aging, but I'm going out with a fight.
Yeah.
100%, man.
So like that actually is a great segue into a question.
You wrap that up. Like, you must have a podcast.
Yeah, you must have a podcast. But the last piece of this that I think is sort of the only piece we missed was a segue that you just teed up great is if you are, doing your I'm living as long as I can shtick and just be healthy, feel healthy, not just masking problems, like what would be sort of like the ones to keep an eye on in the world of peptides? That does not have to be just peptides. It could be like this plus a lifestyle thing. Like what's your
easy. Yeah. So if I had to kind of, the survivor's guide to aging gracefully, right?
There you go. I like it. You heard it here first.
I know. So number one, this one is like, dude, I can never, it's sleep.
Yeah.
And it seems so simple, but dude, like, I feel like if I had to do it all over again, I might have just said, all right, we're a sleep clinic. We're just doing sleep. Because how many people struggle with sleep, falling asleep, staying asleep, all the things, right? And it leads you into so many other things you can do. But sleep, because if you're not sleeping, you're creating neuroinflammation, you're creating oxidative stress, you're damaging your DNA, you're not clearing toxins from the brain, like you're not producing hormones. Like sleep is the number one longevity intervention. And it is like nothing's going to top that. If you're not sleeping, all this shit is a waste. It's just real, right? Number two is exercise, resistance training, putting some pressure on your body to adapt. Because when you put resistance against a muscle, you release these cytokines called myokines. And myokines are anti-inflammatory. They reduce inflammation. They extend your life, right? And obviously, keeping your bones healthy is great as well. But exercise is number two, right? That's non-negotiable. You got to sleep. Work. You may not get perfect sleep, but you got to put some effort into it. And then you have to be able to move. Now, granted, I had some other podcasts I did. We were talking like, if you come in, like everything hurts. I can't, like, I'm not going to sit here and say you need to work out 5 days a week and you need to be doing Olympic lifting, right? But let's figure out how to get you started, at least get you in the process of getting started. So you have that. Number three, people don't drink enough water. Like, it's insane how many times someone's in front of me, how much water are you drinking? They're just like, 2 bottles. Well, in the morning, not all day. You're like, what are you drinking? Coffee. Yeah. Diet Coke. You're like, oh God, right? And so I got to start there, right? Because that's super important. And I feel like that's a basic one, right? And now foundationally you have that. And now the next thing is, those are simple. And now I'm still building foundation. And you got to make sure your hormones are optimized, right? So as a guy, make sure you have optimal testosterone. You can't have zero estrogen or too much estrogen. Make sure you have vitamin D is a hormone. I know we call it a vitamin, but ain't nobody going to change it now. And so making sure all your hormones are optimized, that's foundational too, because that's protecting your heart, your bones, your brain. So now you've got that foundation. So now you can get into some of the peptide things. So if I'm looking at my survivor's guide of peptides, there are maybe 4. I'm going to just do 5. Okay, first one, GHK copper. I know we talk about the hair, skin, and nails, but GHK copper upregulates and downregulates up to 4,000 genes in the body that are related to antioxidant capacity and inflammation.
Really?
It literally protects you from oxidative stress and reducing inflammation at a cellular level, right? And that's pretty awesome. And if you look at some of the studies, there's a great book. Love the book. Really was like, it's a Lauren Picard's book. I love the book, man. But it's like, I feel like he just slapped a bunch of articles in there. Hey, read this and figure it out. But it's an amazing book, and it goes through these studies over decades where it's like this, how GHK has these potential benefits to reduce the onset of cancer and treat all these things. Absolutely important, right? Number 2 is I am going to say BPC 157 because of the ability to help with reducing pain, inflammation, oxidative stress, and and just helping your cells function better. And that's my second, right? Number 3, I'm going to put 3A, 3B is one of the thymosins. And I would say thymosin alpha 1, thymosin beta 4, because depending on the person's presentation, because it's going to help with immune system function, inflammation, allowing your body to have more of a optimal immunomodulatory kind of presentation, able to fight things off, able to fight off viruses, able to resolve infections and inflammation, right? So I'll put those there. So now let me make sure I got my list. I got my TA1, TB4. I'm taking them both. I got my BPC, GHK copper.
Oh, you're taking them both. You're taking both.
Yeah, I'm taking them both. I'm going to call those both. I'm going to put them in the same vial.
All my bases while we're here.
Bases. Yeah. We're trying to make sure we have our longevity stuff. Now, I know people will talk about epitalon and different ones like that. Just not enough studies with that. It's in that tier C. Not saying it's crap, but maybe not what I'm taking with me in this kind of emergency situation, right? And so the last one is a peptide, but it's not the peptide you're thinking about. It's glutathione, right? And glutathione is a tripeptide, right? So you got glutamate, glycine, and cysteine, because glutathione, because remember, we're trying to survive old age, right? Because as we age, our need for glutathione increases, our ability to produce it decreases. And your body's eventually, it stops listening. I need glutathione. And your body's like, all right, I hear you. I can't help you.
I've got nothing for you. Move it along.
Yeah, I got nothing to give you, right? And so because glutathione also does that twofold thing, reducing oxidative stress and acting as and detoxing the liver, right? So reducing oxidative stress, acting as an antioxidant, and also detoxifying. It's essential for survival in a toxic world.
Sure.
You know, it's one of the few molecules in the world that can both treat and prevent disease. I'll take that. Yes, please.
Yeah, that sounds amazing. Glutathione.
So one of the things I was going to do is like ask you more relevant questions, but I feel like if I do, someone might construe that as you giving medical advice, because I was going to be like, do you cycle on and off of these? How much are you taking? You know, those are the deeper questions.
I can speed around the bush a little bit.
I got you.
So if necessary, so cycling wise, I'll give you that here. So cycling, I'm in the camp of not cycling BPC 157. I know there are some.
You're staying on that constantly.
You're just like, this is my day.
I have never stopped taking BPC 157.
So now I used it for an injury. It worked so well. The shoulder still feels great. It's been years, but I haven't touched it since.
Now, I don't take it every day, right? So I'll take a few days off, but like I'll take it after workouts. I do the oral capsules a few times a week.
Oh, I see.
It's like drinking water. It's like you cannot overdose on it.
Right. So it doesn't matter.
There are no studies showing that there's any reduction in efficacy of it. Like I've seen some studies where they did up to like 3 grams or some insane amount, right?
Yeah. You're taking fucking a cup of it.
Like, no, it's like glutathione. You cannot overdose on glutathione. It's just not what happens, right? You might smell like rotten eggs, but you ain't gonna overdose.
Yeah, you almost run out of money too.
It's not a cheap one. It's fucking expensive.
You get
good quality stuff.
It was weird. I took glutathione for altitude sickness. It increased something about oxygen through your blood. It actually worked out well for that. And it was funny because my headache went away almost immediately, like very, very quickly.
That makes sense. That makes sense. Yeah.
Right.
So it's like one of those weird compounds that every time somebody brings it up, they're bringing it up for a different reason. I'm like, how many fucking things does this thing do?
It's like
it's a master. It's a master antioxidant. Yeah.
It's like LDN, like low dose naltrexone. It's like there aren't many things that you can't treat or help with low dose naltrexone, right? It's kind of when in doubt, it's a thing.
Right, when in doubt. So speaking of low dose versus implied higher dose, is like with you have like BCP, is there like sort of a therapeutic versus prophylactic dose? Like, do you have like different numbers?
I tend to do lower dosing, and I'm going to give a range just to not give advice.
No, I'm just. It was less about the specificity and more about the like. Is there two versions of this?
That'll hurt me at all, dude. So like for like maintenance recovery, lower end of it, so in that 200 to 400, 500 microgram range. Someone actively treating an injury, it might be doing that same dose range 2 or 3 times a day. And if it's like an acute thing, you can go higher dose with it. So that being said, like I don't have a dogma when it comes to this is a dosing or protocol. I'm kind of taking it case by case. And then I know that you won't see in the books, but it's like if you're a 98-pound lady, your dose might be different from a 300-pound guy.
Sure.
So it's not like,
it makes sense. Yeah.
5 units for you. This guy's 3 times your size. Let's do 5 units. So I think there's that has to be taken into account in many ways. So there's a difference. And again, there are some peptides you do want to cycle off just because they bind to specific receptors, and you don't want those receptors to desensitize. Those are the ones where you want to take your cycling breaks, like your testosterone and your ipamorelins, things like that. So there are some nuances there. And I think those nuances are where, and just to go full circle, same thing, got blurry on me. And just to go like full circle with it, that's the nuance when you're talking. And I'm not here to shit on influencers. I feel like I'm about to do it, and I'm not. I promise you, I'm not shitting on anyone.
I don't care. You can.
Yeah, I mean, I'm not going to care about it. Yeah.
All right. So, and again, not to take a big old dump on any influencers here, man, but at the end of the day, I think there are nuances to peptide therapy that, as a practicing physician, not just from what I read in the book, but like seeing how my patients are responding, what's working, what's not working, like what side effects that you don't see in the books per se, or people going to experience. And I think that's why seeing someone who has that experience in treating people with peptides, not just reading a book and getting on Instagram and say, take it this way, like there's a difference to it, right? And that's kind of where, to me, I'll go head to head, toe to toe with any influencer, man, because I see this shit in real life, man. Like I've done well with peptides. I felt like I failed with some people with them, and you do the best you can.
Sure.
Yeah, well, that's that N equals 1 is great if it works for you, but like if you're trying to give advice to everybody, you don't know what's going on with other people.
Huge
Doc,
difference.
you should have seen how excited Tom was when pediatricians could do dry needling. He damn near stroked out.
Oh no, physical therapist. I'm like, it's just bad acupuncture.
Oh no,
it's just bad acupuncture. And they almost took out, what was his name, Tut or something. I don't really follow the NFL.
Oh,
they gave him a pneumothorax. Yeah,
TJ Watt, dude.
TJ Watt.
Yeah. He got dry needle and bam, popped a lung, dude.
Yeah,
there was a basketball player, dude. Was it Cade? He's a really good player, Cade Cunningham. I think, was it him? He got kneed, and he was going for a loose ball, and I think he got kneed, and I guess the way it hit his rib cage, it caused him
took him out. Yeah,
I was like, damn, I didn't know that was a thing.
Yeah,
it's crazy.
But it is funny because, like, you know, we are in a sort of influencer generation right now, and like that doesn't take into account those nuances. And there's a big fucking difference between, you know, people who've done this a million times and people who have just talked about it 10 times. You know.
Yeah. Hey man, I just have to stay in my lane, do the best, because the people who come see me for longevity, peptides, optimization, like they're coming to see me for a reason.
Sure, of course.
And I respect that, and I'm so grateful and humbled by that, because you can get this shit. The reality is, if you're coming to me for peptides, I know that you can get this off the internet.
Yeah, but you know what? You also can get a lot of things on the internet, but I still buy these things from that person and these things from that person, because like at the end of the day, people, I think anyway, are relationship people. And if you're getting good advice, unless money is an absolute factor, which is what it usually comes down to, right? Like,
yeah, for sure.
You're selling it for $1. I can get it on Amazon for 75 cents. I'm going to get it on it. You know what I mean? Like, but at the same time, like, I'm like, look, I'd rather keep coming back to, like, if I had you in my backyard, I'd be like, well, I'm definitely going to this fucking guy, because like I can ask him any dumb question I want. Like, like, you know,
good answer. That's it.
Yeah.
That's it.
Yeah.
That's it. That's it.
So let's get to the commercial for you, Doc. Listen, by the way, before we do that, I just want to say thanks real quick, because you know, we do talk a lot about peptides, but we never get into like the
depth
geeky
of it.
depth of it. I had no fucking idea what they were, how they were made. It could have been beaver anus extract, or
that's
fucking
vanilla.
That's vanilla. Yeah. I mean, I couldn't have told you. So thank you. I appreciate
no worries.
Education.
No worries, man. I'm here for it.
So let's do the commercial. How do we find you? Where do we send people? Like, what do you want the world to know?
All right. So I am the medical director and owner of Innovative Wellness Center. That's with the ENO, Beethoven Wellness Center here in Phoenix, Arizona. Our website is innovativewellness.com. I should know this, right?
You should.
It's funny to. This is a sidebar. You can take.
You might have gone there once or twice.
I was talking to this lady today about this. She was asking about this for libido, right? And I was like, I literally was like, I was on TV talking about this topical thing. They brought me on to talk about this thing, and I could not remember the name of it. I have never felt so old in my damn life. I was I was talking about it on TV.
Of course, when the lights are on too, right? You know, the cameras are going.
Embarrassing that I don't know this thing. And it was literally in December. And I was like, let me go to my YouTube channel. And there it is.
Yeah, that's it. It's the first one.
Haven't thought about it in 4 months. But anyway, so yeah, Innovative Wellness Center, Phoenix, Arizona. On Instagram, I am under Dr. Jones _Dr. Jones, all spelled out. The Indiana Jones thing, Dr. Jones.
I love it.
And so them there on YouTube. I host the podcast, the Dr. Jones Optimization Academy. Hopefully all this you guys will put in the show notes and things like that.
Yeah,
absolutely. 100%.
Thank you. So I host a podcast where I get to interview cool people like Tom and some of my favorite people, man, in the space. And I also, every now and then, I'll just hop on and like ramble for like 5 to 7 minutes on a topic. So I do some individual long form things on there too.
That's awesome.
Where else am I? Basically that Facebook, all that stuff.
That's it.
If you start the website, you'll find me.
Yeah, you find everybody. You know, like that's what I like now about the world is like we've got our handles on basically everything. So you find anything one of ours, you find it all.
Find it all.
It's very
find it all, my friends.
Yeah. Doc, man, again, thank you. This is really fucking cool. Very excited that you came on.
Thanks, guys. Appreciate it. Thanks for inviting me.
It was a great time, man. Great time.
Yeah, I always feel like being a host, I get to like talk. I'm most excited. Oh, I get to talk, you know, because when you're the guest, you get to kind of, as a host, it's like hosting a party. You want to be gracious, right? You want to, you know, and I want to make sure people can tell their story and all things like that. So I appreciate you guys letting me tell mine a little bit.
Oh man, like that's what the funny part about this is. That's the most interesting part of what we do. Like is learning all that.
Like how you got there it like tells so much why you're into it. You know.
I know. So it's a great place to be, man. It's a great place.
All right, boys and girls. I will see y'all next time and have a great Thursday. Take care.
Thanks, guys.
Be subversive, irreverent.
Health is wealth, but you knew that.
Everybody knows that.
But so is following us on social media at Irreverent Health. And check out our website for more exclusive content at irreverenthealth.com.
Oh, I like this.
Thanks for tuning into this episode of Irreverent Health.